Here's the 30-pound dryer coin drop, and I'm going to be installing the new token coin drop. And here we go. Before I disconnect the wiring harness from the old coin drop, I put a mark on the wire so I know which is number 1 coin drop, and then there's the number 2 coin drop. So I'm going to disconnect it and get the old mechanism off. Now I'm going to be cutting off these 2 studs right here, so my new mechanism can sit down there. And I put a rag over here just to for all the sparks that are flying with the grinding wheel. I use a stainless steel metal grinding wheel, nice one, not the Harbor Freight ones. Just get in here and cut those 2 studs out. Now I got the 2 studs cut out. I try to make it as flush as possible so that the new one sits nice and flush on this sheet metal here. And so then I flip it around, and then see, I already have a plate made up. You know, it's notched out for these 2 screws right here, for the push button, and for the coin drop and the coin return. And it's marked out for the 4 studs that are on the new plate. So then I take it and I line it up to the top of the old coin drop. So I just line the top of it up right there, and then I just equally distance on each side. And then I take a Vicks centering bit, you know, the Vicks centering bit, and I, drill out, mark out each hole. And then I take a 1/4 inch drill bit and finish drilling out the holes. Now I have my 4 holes drilled for my new faceplate. And then I'm going to take it, flip it over, take my pattern, put that upside down, line it up with the 4 holes, and I mark it out, with the pen. So then I'll be taking my Dremel and cutting this stuff out. When you cut it out, you can just line it up with this outside of this half circle right here and just cut it on down to the outside of this one, and then just cut this straight on up, and just cut it across even to the top of that old coin slot. And then you're just going to make this at an angle right here to miss those 2 screws right there on the new panel. This red dot right here, it's like measured over 1/4 of an inch from this nipple right here. I'm going to take an 1.5-inch hole saw and drill that out. And what I do is I have a longer bit on the hole saw so that when I drill down, and once the hole saw hits the metal, it doesn't want to jerk on me and dance all over the place. So I'm going to get that drilled out. So now I got my 1.5-inch hole saw cut out. I also screw down the plate so that it doesn't move around on me. So now I'm just going to take my Dremel. I usually come from this side and just get in here and start cutting out all the remainder of the metal. Be aware that, get extra Dremel cutters because they seem to go pretty fast. So I got the area cut out, and now I'm ready to assemble my new coin drop. And I just put my faceplate on. Like so. And then I get my new coin drop, put that on. And I take my rods. And I put one on there. I just snug them. One of them, because when you go put this back on, your push button, now sometimes it doesn't always line up pretty. You might have to drill a new hole next to the small hole because sometimes it rubs up too close right here. So sometimes you have to re-drill it. And then what I do is I cut, let me back up there for a second. I put in washers, because right here, because if you don't build this up, when you go tighten this thing down, it wants to jerk backwards. Then your push button won't work properly. So I just add on a washer, sometimes 2 washers right there. And then I put this on. And what I do is they got the thread so far down inside there. I cut off like 1/8 of an inch off of this rod so that it snugs better onto there. And then I take another rod and I take off like 1.5 to 2 inches, because you put this on here, you see how it interferes with each other. So I just take it and cut it off and start assembling it back together. And then, you know, take your harness, go coin 1 to the one you marked, and then coin 2 on the other one. So then I just snug the rods on there. I marked the one that I cut an 1/8 inch off of with a marker, so that if I ever take it apart, I know which one goes where. And now you see how I cut that one shorter so it misses the push button. And then I flip it back over, and I just make sure that the coin slot is nice and clear. So you might have to move the plate, or you might have to move the mechanism in the back, so that there's no interference right there. And then I just double check that, and then I just flip it back over and tighten down the rods and connect it up. Then when you go stick your sticker on there to cover up the stuff, make it look clean again, stick it on there, and then you're going to have to take a razor blade and cut these 3 edges around. So before you install it, I come in here and I cut out this metal right here so that the tokens and the quarters can drop. So I just cut that out and get rid of that metal right there. I usually take out the coin box so that the metal shrapnel doesn't get into the coins, and then it gets mixed into maybe the machine, and that might mess it up. So now I got that cut out, and now I'm ready to install the new, ready to put it all back together. And now the new token coin drop. Awesome.